Hello, I am Baymax, your personal healthcare companion. So, 1 year later, after Disney's brilliantly exuberating, underwhelming, disappointing failure, also known as Frozen, Disney decided to change things up. Not only do we now get 2 live-action Marvel movies, we get a third one in the form of animated, also known as Big Hero 6. I mean, this is a great time to be a comic book nerd. So the 2 main characters in the movie are Hero and Baymax. Hero is, well, he's the hero, go figure, and he is this geeky, sciencey nerd who can build robots, and he has this really cool stuff that he makes. You don't really care about him too much at the beginning because he's kind of like a snotty brat and you want him to like listen to people, but he doesn't. But later on you really start to feel for him more as his relationship goes with Baymax. Baymax, you love Baymax. I mean, what's there not to love about him? He's like the epitome of what we all should be. Beautiful, fluffy marshmallows. My biggest complaint about this movie is in its title. The movie is called Big Hero 6. It's about 6 heroes, not 2, and the movie entirely focuses on Hero and Baymax. The other characters really get no character development. You could make an argument that the character Fred does get some development and personality, but overall they're just cookie-cutter superheroes who really, if you took them out of this movie, they would do nothing to support. You would not feel like you lost anything. Sure, you would lost a couple extra kooky lines, but you would have not lost anything from this movie at all. If you took out Baymax, you took out Hero, you don't have the story, but if you take out them, it would be like pulling out, let's say, Iron Man from the Avengers. If you pulled him out, you would not have the movie. You pull out these other heroes, you don't care. I mean, they're not needed for it, even though this movie is Big Hero 6, which is about all of them together. The action is pretty cliche. There's no new elements to it. There's no flying trains like in Man of Steel. There's no giant monsters like in the Avengers. It's pretty generic action you'll find in an animated movie, and that was a little bit upsetting because for a superhero movie you need to have good action for it. Another part I really didn't like is Disney has done a fantastic job with Wreck-It Ralph and Frozen creating a plot twist that throws you off and takes you for a loop. Like in Wreck-It Ralph Turbo, you didn't find out that you find out he's King Candy at the end, and that was mind-blowing. In Frozen, hate to say it, but like I was taken completely away when I found out Hans was a villain. That was incredible. In this one, when you find out about the villain, it's like, I definitely saw that coming because it's like, it could only be this or this, and when you guess it, it's like, it's not mind-blowing, you see it coming, and it's like, you're expecting it, and then you just lose all expectations from that point on, because it's like, I don't care. Go ahead, go fight it out, save the world, I don't care, stop, just move on to some more Baymax, I don't need to hear about this. The villain follows the trend Marvel has been following with all of its superhero movies, with the exception of Loki. The villain's just terrible. Downright terrible. It's like, you don't care about him, his motivations are awful. Once you find out who the villain is, you just get really disappointed because it's not that engaging, you don't care, you know they're gonna win. There's no tension that's like, are they gonna win, what's gonna happen? And I mean, they would have done a lot better if they had put Loki in this movie than had they put him in Thor 2, because really, they really need Loki, otherwise they're just gonna fail. Parts where this movie did excel is the comedy. When I went to the theater, there were like maybe 30 people there, but oh my goodness, the humor, like people were dying the entire time. The theater was so loud, I had a hard time focusing sometimes on the screen because people were just laughing so much at the comedy. Baymax will have you dying, there's some really quirky lines. Oh, and there's a Stan Lee cameo for all you Marvel fans. Look for that. It's very subtle, very clever. The biggest strength of this movie, by far, is Baymax. Put Spock in the middle of the Avengers, and that's what you have. He's innocent, he's logical, he doesn't think with emotion, so when he's trying to comprehend all these things that Hero's feeling, he doesn't quite grasp it, and he's so innocent in the way he acts, you just love him to death. And I mean, there were 2 scenes in this movie where like, I was tearing up, I had tears coming down my cheek, I was like, oh my goodness, they can't do this. And it's those moments that may help you look past everything else that happened in this movie. It doesn't matter like, if the middle was choppy and it just felt slow, and the ending makes the movie for it. How would I rate it? Well, on a scale of Green Lantern being a 1 and Marvel's Avengers being a 10, I'll put it at Thor 2 with like a 7.5, because I mean it has great characters, great comedy, but some parts are underdeveloped, the villain is terrible, has awful motivations, and that area feels choppy. But the ending, oh my goodness, you take out the middle part, the beginning is incredible and beautiful, the relationship with Baymax growing is great, and the ending is just, oh, it's so wonderful. You combine that together and you can look past anything you dislike. Definitely you should go see this. I'm going to go see it again. I have a Baymax action figure. I'm getting this movie on Blu-ray. It is a phenomenal movie. Go check it out.